Gerhard Bloom, once again looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So I'd like to take another look at Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. I've said this before, the Democratic Party is not liberal, it's woke Marxist, right? It's been absolutely institutionally captured. And Kamala Harris, sure, she's a vacuous chucklehead, she's a liar, and yes, she is a woke Marxist. Just most recently in the news, Joe Biden did a video on this called Trump supporters garbage. And this is, amongst a litany of slanders and accusations against Republican voters and Trump supporters, right? Neo-Nazis, fascist supporters, xenophobic, Islamophobic, homophobic, misogynistic, the list goes on. But at any rate, Joe Biden called the American supporters of Donald Trump garbage. Well, the press office, Biden's press office, altered the official transcripts. The official transcripts of that speech, the Biden White House press agents, they altered that speech. This may well be an offense, right? A crime against the Presidential Records Act. You can't just arbitrarily do that. And stenographers are absolutely outraged that this has been done to the official American records, right? The American records are for the American people, right? Not for Joe Biden's presidency and Kamala Harris's nomination for president. But at any rate, Comrade Harris, woke Marxist. So here are some of her favored policies, right? And those of the radical leftists in her party, right? Packing the Supreme Court, right? Ending the filibuster, eliminating the Electoral College, censoring free speech, right? Recall the government, Joe Biden's government, the FBI, the CIA, shouldering media sites to silence the Hunter Biden laptop story. That could have changed the election, right? Could very well have changed the election, but they were silenced, right? They want to engage in socialist redistribution, right? Defunding the police, confiscating guns. This is Kamala Harris, right? She was on a group bailing out rioters and looters during the BLM riots. She said, no, the riots won't stop and they shouldn't stop. This is Kamala Harris, and now she's some fierce defender of the police and public safety, except she's not, right? Dividing people into racial categories. Preferential loans for black people. That's unconstitutional because the United States Constitution is not racist. She's in favor of performing mutilating gender surgeries on minors and against the wishes of their parents. This is happening in Tim Walz's state, right? Tim Walz's state. You have a child who needs gender-affirming care, which means, mutilating their child, this gender-confused child, very often with comorbid psychological issues, right? You can have your children taken away from you by the government. Kamala Harris and the radical leftists are behind this. She wanted to support funding, that's right, taxpayer funding for federal inmates and illegal migrants that are held in federal custody. Give them gender surgeries, right? Billions of dollars of taxpayer money to support this. No limits, absolutely no limits on abortion. This is the leftist policies. And Harris keeps telling the voting public that Donald Trump is going to ban abortions. It's about women's health. Women are dying because they can't get medical aid if they have miscarriages, that they're going to track women's pregnancies. It's all a hysterical lie, and I can't believe leftists are this stupid to believe it. In the first point here, every state in the United States has a clause for the welfare of the mother. The life of the mother, that's paramount, right? Every state. No state is going to charge some woman who's having a miscarriage, and no, there's not going to be any government agency following pregnant women around. Absolutely not. And Donald Trump is on record multiple times saying he favors the Supreme Court decision that turns the issue of abortion back to the states. On a personal level, because it has nothing to do with the office of the presidency or its powers, Donald Trump is in favor of life of the mother, exceptions for rape and incest. That's Donald Trump. But he doesn't have a say in it any more than anybody in any individual state, because it's a states' right issue. So I don't know what Kamala Harris is trying to propose here. She has no more right at all. It's a states' right issue. The Dobbs decision, the Supreme Court of the United States decided that. Doesn't fall under the purview of the federal government, so she can't do anything about it. So voters need to decide on the basis of something else. You know, like the rapes and murders by illegal aliens. Spoke about that Jocelyn Ungary, right? Raped, hands, ankles tied, thrown over a bridge, died, right? And Hispanics, right? Hispanics don't support Donald Trump because of that stupid joke at his rally hours before Donald Trump was out there. Absolute nonsense. Well, she's voting for Donald Trump. She's Hispanic, by the way. Drag queen story hours. This is leftist ideology, right? Graphic pornographic reading materials and viewing materials in grade school classrooms. Yep, leftist ideology. Of course, Kamala Harris and the woke leftists are behind it. And men competing in women's sports, men in women's locker rooms, women are being raped by men in women's prisons. Yep, part of the leftist agenda. So there you have it, right? And I've said this before. I forget who first quoted this. Leftists, every accusation is a confession, right? Donald Trump is going to weaponize the Justice Department. You know, like trying to get Donald Trump thrown in jail for absolutely specious allegations, absolutely specious. All of these cases are going to get thrown out on appeal. Wait for it. And jailing two Trump senior advisors. What is his name? Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon, both jailed, right? You know who for ignoring congressional subpoenas? You know who else ignored a congressional subpoena? Eric Holder Arnold under President Obama did the same thing. There was the Fast and Furious case, right? This was the smart idea to release American weapons to the drug cartels to follow them along. Well, the weapons got lost. An American citizen was ended up getting killed by this. He ignored the congressional subpoena, and I think the American public had every right to hear from him about that particular catastrophe. So, okay, you want closed borders, Donald Trump. You want this inflation, right? The Biden Inflation Reduction Act flooded billions and billions of dollars into the economy, and of course, prices shot up through the roof. Waging a war on domestic energy, fuel prices went through the roof. After Donald Trump, in his debate with Kamala Harris, said crime is dramatically up, he got fact-checked when there was an agreement for no fact-checking. They said, oh no, the FBI, crime is down. Crime is not down. Crime is dramatically up since Donald Trump left office. Dramatically up. Serious violent crime, dramatically up. And as I said again, American citizens being brutalized, assaulted, murdered, raped. Apartment blocks in cities are being taken over by Venezuelan gangs, right? You want an end to that? That is Donald Trump. You want gender-affirming mutilation for children? That's Kamala Harris. High taxes, wealth redistribution, dividing people along racial lines, pornographic literature in grade schools, socialist redistribution, all of it. It's all wrong. Leftists are always wrong. They're disastrously wrong. It's not like a clock that's right twice a day. They are marching in the absolute wrong direction. It's leftism. Leftists have always favored authoritarianism, right? That's why they're attacking Elon Musk. They want his X account shut down. They want, misinformation and disinformation. Misinformation and disinformation is anything that fights against their leftist nonsense. Anyways, you need to vote, right? If you're an American citizen old enough to vote, vote for Donald Trump and stop this nonsense and the lying and the manipulation by the leftist media, legacy media, right? Awful. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and attention. You like the video, please do drop a thumbs up. Check out my other videos in the library. I think there's some important material there. And most of all, check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. It's available on Amazon. I can go into many of these issues, and I do in much greater depth. And yes, I bring the receipts. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.